Theurgy. This is a mystical, spiritual practice that aims to unite the human soul with the divine. The term comes from the Greek words theos, God, and ergon, work, meaning the work of the gods. Unlike mere prayer or religious rituals, Theurgy involves precise, often esoteric rites and meditations intended to invoke divine powers and ascend through various levels of spiritual reality. Originating primarily within Neoplatonism, especially in the teachings of philosophers like Plotinus and Proclus, Theurgy holds that the human soul can ascend back to its divine source. It was emphasized that reason alone is not enough for spiritual transformation. Divine rituals and invocations are necessary to awaken the soul and bring it into harmony with the divine order. The theurgical practices often include rituals using sacred symbols, invocations of divine beings or archangels, and purification techniques. These rites are not about manipulating spirits for personal gain, as in some forms of magic, but about aligning oneself with higher cosmic forces and restoring the soul's connection to the divine. Sufism. This is the mystical branch of Islam that focuses on achieving a direct personal experience of the divine, rather than emphasizing external rituals or strict legalism. Sufis seek inner purification, love of God, and spiritual closeness to the divine presence, often described as the beloved. This concept emphasizes the inner esoteric dimension of the Islamic faith. Its practices are designed to awaken the heart and transcend the ego. These include the repetitive chanting or remembrance of God's names, fasting, meditation, and guidance under a spiritual teacher or master. A central concept in Sufism is Tawheed, the unity of all existence, reflecting the belief that everything is a manifestation of the one divine reality. This path involves stages of spiritual development, where the seeker undergoes discipline, love, suffering, and surrender, eventually reaching Fana, the annihilation of the self, and Baka, the subsistence in God. Tantra. This is a diverse and complex spiritual tradition that originated in India and is found in both Hinduism and Buddhism. At its core, Tantra focuses on the transformation of the self through ritual, meditation, and the harnessing of subtle energies. Unlike more ascetic spiritual paths, Tantra embraces the physical world, including the body, senses, and desires, as a means of reaching spiritual liberation. In Hindu Tantra, practitioners may worship deities like Shiva, Shakti, Kali, or Durga, often through elaborate rituals meant to awaken the Kundalini energy, a dormant spiritual force said to lie at the base of the spine. When awakened, this energy rises through the chakras, leading to heightened awareness and ultimately enlightenment. In Buddhist Tantra, the practices focus on visualizing oneself as a deity, reciting mantras, and using symbolic tools to speed up the path to enlightenment. Tibetan Buddhism is especially rich in tantric practices, with an emphasis on guru devotion and esoteric initiation. While Tantra is popularly associated with sexuality, especially in the West, this is only one small and often misunderstood aspect of the tradition. In reality, sexual rites are symbolic tools to transcend duality and merge with divine consciousness. Overall, Tantra offers a holistic path that combines body, mind, and spirit, turning every aspect of life into a potential gateway to the sacred. Aether Theory. This is an ancient and later scientific concept that proposed the existence of a mysterious, invisible substance called ether that filled all of space. This ether was thought to be the medium through which light and other forces traveled, much like how sound waves need air to move. The theory has deep roots in both classical philosophy and pre-modern physics. In ancient Greek philosophy, ether was considered the fifth element, in addition to earth, water, air, fire. Aristotle described it as the pure heavenly substance that made up celestial bodies distinct from the corruptible elements found on earth. Ether was thought to be eternal, weightless, and incorruptible, responsible for the movement of stars and planets. However, in 1905, Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity eliminated the need for ether altogether, showing that light does not require a medium and that the speed of light is constant. Although with time, the ether theory was discarded in mainstream physics, it continues to appear in esoteric, spiritual, and alternative science circles as a subtle energy field, spiritual plane, or cosmic life force that permeates the universe, similar to prana, chi, or akasha in Eastern traditions. Enochian Magic. This is a complex and influential system of ceremonial magic developed in the late 1500s by the English occultist Dr. John Dee and his scryer Edward Kelly. Through a series of spiritual sessions, Kelly would gaze into a crystal ball while Dee recorded visions and angelic communications. These beings claimed to be revealing the lost magic of the biblical figure Enoch, who was said to have walked with God. The angels delivered an elaborate system that included the Enochian language, a unique alphabet said to be the original divine tongue. They also revealed a series of magical tools and structures, such as the 4 watchtowers, mystical elemental tablets, the Great Table, and 91 parts of the earth. The system's rituals used the Enochian keys, powerful invocations recited in the angelic language, to open gateways to spiritual realms and summon angelic intelligences. Though Dee and Kelly never fully organized their system, later occultists like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn and Aleister Crowley refined and practiced it. Today, Enochian magic is seen as one of the most advanced and spiritually intense forms of Western magic, often used for deep meditation, angelic communication, and the pursuit of esoteric wisdom. Divination. This is the practice of seeking insight, guidance, or knowledge, especially about the future or hidden truths, through spiritual or symbolic means. It has been used for thousands of years in cultures worldwide, often involving tools like tarot cards, runes, astrology, pendulums, scrying mirrors, or yijing. Rather than predicting a fixed fate, divination helps interpret patterns, signs, or energies to guide decision-making and self-reflection. Many see it as a way to connect with the divine, the subconscious mind, or spiritual forces for greater clarity and understanding. Sacred geometry. This is the study of shapes, patterns, and proportions believed to reflect the divine structure of the universe, found in nature, art, and spiritual architecture. It includes forms like the circle, triangle, flower of life, golden ratio, and Metatron's cube. These patterns are seen as symbolic blueprints of creation, used in meditation, design, and spiritual practice to align with cosmic harmony. Across cultures, sacred geometry represents the idea that the universe is built on an intelligent, interconnected order, revealing hidden unity behind all forms. These are theoretical alignments that connect ancient sites, sacred monuments, and natural landmarks across the earth. Believers in this concept suggest that these lines follow the flow of spiritual or electromagnetic energy, forming a kind of global grid that powers and connects places of power. Though the term is modern, the idea that the earth is laced with invisible, mystical energy paths has roots in many ancient cultures. Coined in 1921 by Alfred Watkins, the term originated from his observation that places like stone circles and churches often form straight lines over long distances. While Watkins saw them as old navigation routes, the idea later evolved into a mystical concept involving Earth's spiritual energy. Similar ideas exist in other cultures like dragon lines in Chinese feng shui and song lines in Aboriginal tradition. These lines are thought to intersect at energy centers such as Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, and Mount Shasta, where spiritual power is strongest. Today, many believe ley lines form a global energy grid influencing nature, consciousness, and sacred practices.